welcome back to my channel, and it's so good to be here again. All right, I hope I'm meeting all of you in the best of health. All right, okay, I wanted to shooting this video since last week, but I wanted to get a full analysis of whatever it is I wanted to come and talk about, and it has to do about blue therapy. Blue therapy, for some of you that don't know, let me just give you a brief history about it, or let me just give you a brief info about it. Is a series, yeah, an episode. I think so far I've watched, or rather available is up to episode 4 of the blue therapy. It's a couple therapy, though the both couples that are in that therapy are not married yet. And there are two couples involved, Paul and Chioma, and then Jamil and Deborah. I think they're all Nigerians, even though it's a London-based channel. And to be honest with you, I was watching it. It's just something I could just not ignore. Just something I just felt I needed to talk about. Like, it was just, it was just, there was this vibe, there was this strings that kept pulling inside me. Like, hey, girl, come and say something in front of your camera. Okay, as some of you will say, who asked my opinion, but then I'm free to also air my unpopular opinion, right? Okay, so this is about the blue therapy. Like, the couple for me that caught most people, because when you even watch it, and by the way, there were even a lot of arguments in the comment section. Some were saying it was a real therapy, some were saying it was fake, some were saying it was staged. But whatever it is, for me, I just looked at the part that this is sending a lot of message. And if they are acting, then I think they are perfect actors, because I think I felt every bit of that therapy, especially the one of Paul and Chioma. The one of Jamil and Debbie was just kind of all over the place for me. But Paul and Chioma's therapy, it kind of carries a lot of reality, a lot of truths of what is actually happening. I started watching from episode 1 to 4. At the beginning episodes, I just felt, babe, Chioma, that's the Chioma, like, leave this guy. He's just a handful, and you can't continue like this. There's a general belief that when people change, because this is it, what's the, I think episode 4, it was now made believe, or it's not made believe, but it was real. Chioma now said that she met Paul when he was fat, and then he worked on himself. Then there are so many records showing people that maybe used to be fat, and then they lost weight and begin to build up their self-esteem. They begin to look at their current partners like they're no longer good enough for them. And honestly, it's not like there's any scientific research or anything, but socially, when you look at it closely, it's like that. And that's why you see some couples, the other caregiver tends to be afraid. Yes, like, tends to be afraid, because they have this fear that they might end up losing this person once this person gets back to shape, gets back to independence. Do you understand? Because there are times that we just settle for what we have because we don't have other choices, or we don't have anything better. But probably, and there's this human nature, though I believe it's human nature. We always believe that it's greener on the other side. We always assume that there's something behind the wall, something better than what we already have. But meanwhile, you don't know if what you already have is what is actually meant for you. All right, coming back to blue therapy, the fact that Chioma, it's been in that relationship, Chioma and Paul have been in that relationship for 3 years, which for me, it's okay. It's good for them to have come to therapy, because 3 years is a good time to determine if you want to stay in a relationship or not, though depending on the time you have again. Because if you're going into a relationship at a late age of your, like, let's say you're approaching your 40s and you're going into a relationship, 3 years might be too much to put into that relationship. Yes, but I believe they are young, even though their ages were not revealed. And 3 years is okay for a therapy. But towards the ending, that is why they said the end justifies the beginning, right? Or the means sometimes. Was that towards the end in the episode 4, I realized that, okay, Paul actually loves this girl too. Because the part where she started crying, that was like the last episode. I'll just link those things in my description box, and the Trend CENTRL, you would just go there and check it on YouTube. You understand better, but I'm just giving a general analysis for people that have watched it, or some kind of a reaction. Towards the end in episode 4, I think that was the last shot where I kind of now had feeling like I now had to feel a little bit towards Paul. I now realized that okay, this guy too loves this girl, even though along the lines he called her fat. That was the reason why she cried. And men, I don't know if I have men on this channel. Even if your girl, your wife, your spouse is fat, just look for a way to tell them. You understand? Because there's this thing about telling a woman outrightly that she's fat. Maybe someone at random can tell a woman that she's fat and she doesn't bother, she will just laugh. But when your partner tells you that, you feel somehow. But I was even kind of disappointed in Paul again for calling Chioma fat, because he used to be in a place like that and he knows how it feels before he worked on himself and got into shape. And if you ask me, I didn't know what his definition of fat was, but for me, Choma was just okay. Yes, I don't think she falls in that line of fat, even though we women could be really, really emotional. Yeah, I think I've heard somewhere that someone said that women could comfortably say the things they want and they don't want in a man, but when a man does the same, we tag it as but whatever, man. At the end of the day, our emotions don't run through the same. Yeah, our emotions don't run through. Women were somehow overly emotional. We're somehow overly, we overreact and we overread meanings in everything. Yes, unlike men. So sometimes men should understand that women are not so straightforward emotionally as men. Exactly. And that's why men can be very, very comfortable in casual relationships. That brings me now to Jamil and Deborah. Even though Jamil and Deborah were not really a couple of interests. My couple of interests was Chioma and Paul, to be honest. Jamil and Deborah were okay, it was part of the couple with blue therapy, so I kind of watched them, but they were not really it for me. In that part, the other sense was that Jamil, I don't know, at the beginning he seems innocent, but as the episodes proceeds, I now realize that he was quirky and he has a high tendency to lie, even if he wasn't doing anything wrong. You know, there are people like that, they just feel the need to lie. Like, I don't know, they just feel that when they say the truth, it makes them look weak or it makes them look cheap, or I don't know, they just feel the need to always hide something, and then hiding those things involved telling a lot of lies. At the beginning I thought that Deborah was a diva, you know, she was too exaggerated, like her personality was a little bit exaggerated. She exaggerated herself. But over the course of the therapy, I now realized that there are people we're with and they make us realize that there's another side of us that we don't know. Yes, there is another side. Yeah, because I think I've spoken with a friend in the past and I said that some relationships make you even discover more sides to yourself. Yes, there are things that you could do in a relationship on a norm you didn't even know you could do that at all, but that relationship pushes you, and that is it brings me to some situations where you're in a relationship, either male or female, and everyone seems to like your partner, but you don't seem to have a smooth flow with that partner. And when you complain to your friends or your family about this partner, it's more like, this good person. Do you understand? That is only because you guys are in a relationship and there are certain traits of that person that brings out a certain part of you that you don't even know exists. And to be honest with you, you don't even like it. Yes, I've been in a relationship where I became very, very troublesome, you know? And for me, that was what I kind of saw in DB, probably her kind of attitude, you know, her expectations, her high expectations, because for me I felt she was this person that I don't know if she's extravagant financially as well, but she's this lady, which every lady of course like good things, and she's just at some point I thought she was this lady that wanted a man to do everything for her. But over the course of the therapy, probably she felt he had enough money, like he was making good money to be able to spend on her, but he wasn't doing that, and it was an issue for her, you get. But for me, in a relationship where you're not yet married, and by the way, Jamil and Deborah's relationship is just 1 year. For me, I feel 1 year is too early to start going to therapy. I feel maybe in 1 year you have not even really been so real to yourself, being the fact that they're both young. And but then whatever, he was the one that brought them to therapy, and she actually came for the therapy. Deborah herself came for the therapy. But there are certain expectations in relationships that both ways, both male and female, we expect too much. And if it doesn't work that way, it makes us lose interest in a relationship that would have been. What I mean by would have been a good relationship. But because of some other external factors that we tend to look out for, we look out for those things and abandon relationship. But towards the ending of the therapy, I still said, as I said, I now realized that okay, Jamil too was cocky on his own. He's this guy's kind of people that you're with them, everybody outside sees them as good, perfect, humble, and all that, and you, someone look at you like, are you mad? How can you have a man like that when you lose him? So those factors to contribute to we staying in a toxic relationship that we're supposed to leave. They are in a couples therapy, so obviously they want to work on their relationships, but because it's not advisable for you to just run at every sign of trouble in every relationship. Yes, it's okay to work on it, to talk about it. If it warrants you going to therapy, it's okay. But to be honest with you, I really enjoyed this blue therapy. I think so far on YouTube I've seen it stopped at episode 4, so I can't wait to see more episodes if there's going to be any episodes. So feel free to drop your comments in the comment section. Let's interact. As I said earlier, I'm going to drop the link of that trend CENTRL in the description area. Go watch this blue therapy so you understand what I'm saying better. There are other influencers too talking about blue therapy online. So thank you so much, and see you in another video. Bye.